Welcome everyone. We all know that all big tech companies are asking exactly same LeetCode algo section, including Google, Meta, Amazon, Snowflake, Microsoft, all of these big names, they all are doing that. I've been solving LeetCode for past few years already, and today I got 750 problems solved already. And I think I've got many things to talk about, some lessons learned during that period, what I would suggest myself a few years ago, and stuff like that. So let's go. So let's take a look about some history. It was 2020, I've just got a fake senior offer at EPAM Systems outsourcing company. And I was thinking about my further career path, like what do I want to do? And the answer came instantly to my mind. I want to go to some big tech, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Apple, whatever. The products that I'm using daily, I want to work on them actually and see how it works from the inside, right? So I contacted my first tech lead from the first company who got offers from Microsoft and Amazon, I guess, and he rejected them, but he knew how to pass them. And his answer was pretty short and simple, just do LeetCode. And I actually started doing that. It was my first time and it was disaster. It was big ego hit because I got used to enterprise C# code with OP pattern, solid and stuff, and then you get some medium DP problem that you cannot solve in 2-3 days, and you see acceptance rate like 60%, and you start asking yourself like, am I the engineer? Am I that good? Am I the clever guy? And the answer is of course no. I lasted for a few months and then I just gave up. The first mistake I was making, that I was just starting doing a problem, and because of my ego, I was still thinking about the solution for a few days, and still I wasn't able to come up with the solution. And then I took a look into the solution that people posted, and then it was even stronger ego hit because I realized that there is no alternative universe in which I can come up with this solution on my own. So for the rest of the year, I just gave up. I didn't do anything about the LeetCode. And then it was 2021, and recruiter from Amazon and recruiter from Microsoft reached out to me about potential interview for these companies. And of course, I said yes to all of them. And I realized now I have a tight deadline to prepare for the LeetCode section. And this is really my chance to go to one of these big tech companies. So I started preparing again. That time I was preparing in a bit different way, so I wasn't wasting more time than like 1 or 2 hours per problem. Also, I started doing lists, and I guess I was doing top 100 like questions or something like that. Before the Microsoft interview that happened in December, I solved something like 147 problems. And I actually captured it in my Instagram stories like many years ago. Even though I failed Amazon interview, I still passed the Microsoft one, got the offer and started working for them. But it was not over, of course. During 2022, 23 and 24, I wasn't doing LeetCode almost at all because I was busy with promotions at Microsoft, keeping the stock up, of course. I got a bunch of surgeries and had in general many other stuff to be busy with. It was 2025. I was a bit pissed off of Visa, which I had that time. I also was pissed off that I'm running out of on-hire stocks at Microsoft. So I decided it's good time to pursue new opportunities, and I started preparing again. I knew after 3 years of pause, I would need at least 2-3 months to prepare again. So that time I was doing lists only. So I solved LeetCode 75. I again did 100 liked questions. And I did top 150 interview questions or something like that. I solved all medium and easy problems from these lists, then started interviewing, got offer from Google, got offer from Snowflake, and actually I didn't stop solving LeetCode after that because I was thinking, okay, some of my colleagues from Microsoft have a LeetCode t-shirt and some other merch, and I really wanted to have one as well. So I started doing daily LeetCode because it gives you 10 coins per day. And I really wanted just to get this guy, which I eventually got. So the rest of 2025 and first half of 2026, I was basically grinding daily LeetCode problems, and currently I have streaked something like 300 and something. Recently, I collected enough coins to buy a LeetCode cap, or not to buy, to actually redeem from their website. To be fully honest, actually, there was some other guy who ordered this cap for me because just he can do that. I don't know why. Pretty generous man. Thank you, by the way. But of course, since it was like 3-4 months ago, I didn't have enough coins, and I didn't feel like I'm eligible to wear it. So anyway, grinded it to 6.5k coins, and now I'm eligible to wear it.
Let's keep it short. Welcome to the new camp, mercenary. Here, take some armor. Good that you're here with us.
And having cap also didn't stop me because, I don't know, I'm just used to solving it daily. I don't feel all right if I don't solve one today and every day, pretty much. It's a good glue content for my social media. It's also a nice feeling that you always feel warm up. So you are not that stressed about layoffs or something that can actually leave you without the job, because you know, like, your LeetCode is good enough, you will be able to pass interview, and you need only a few weeks of preparation. Besides that, of course, at some point, I want to have a LeetCode hoodie that requires 16k of LeetCode coins, and I think I will need a few years for that, but yeah, let's see. Now the juiciest part of the video, which is about key takeaways, advices that I would want to hear a few years back. And yeah, in general, my suggestions how the one should approach LeetCode nowadays for the interview. So first point, one of the most important points I would say, is you should learn running your code in mind. So the general plan for solving of the LeetCode problem is the following. You try to come up with intuition. In case you get the intuition, you should create a mental plan or mental model of your solution. You should generally see your components, arrays, hash maps, graphs, how they interact with each other, and how it produces the right answer. Also, you should have some structured piece-by-piece code, in the sense that, okay, I'm going to iterate over this and that, I'm gonna store this and that answer in this heap or map, and then I will, I don't know, access this map later on, and this is how I generate the response and stuff like that. So you should have some abstract model of pieces of code that you should put together sequentially in order it to be a solution, actually. Only after that step, you're actually allowed to write any code. So your writing procedure should be pretty simple. You just follow the mental model you have in mind, and it should be the way. It shouldn't be it shouldn't look like you're just playing around, or you just implemented some for and while, and then you decided, okay, I will drop it, I will do something else. No, this is wrong way of doing that. Interviewers would mention it as a red flag. You don't want to do this. Once you have a mental model, you should stick to your mental model, and you should kind of follow planning your mental model and do it from the scratch. This is like ideal. Of course, you would make mistakes. Of course, you can change your mind, but ideally you shouldn't. Then the very important third step, and this is like separate skill that you should learn to do, especially before the interview, it is debugging your code. So actually, you should be able to debug your code in your mind completely, exclusively. You're not allowed to press any debug or run button or submit button before you debugged all 3 or 2 examples on the problem itself, and you are 100% sure they will work, and for your solution, they would pass at least these 3. Only once you did it, you can actually click button run and then click button submit. The expectation here that run button should 100% be correct and should be running. For sure, I don't count like things like you just didn't do something with syntax of the language. These errors are not counted, but general logic and approach should make sure that code is solving the problem in the examples of the problem. For submit, it's a bit tricky. Sometimes there are some complicated edge cases that you might not even think about. So that's okay if you fail them. Then you do one more iteration and fix them. But in general, the ideal case that you would think about these edge cases beforehand, and you would actually account them before while you're doing your initial solution and mental model, whatever. This is the plan that you should approach with every single problem you're solving, because this is the only thing that improves your skill for LeetCode. If you just casually go to the problem, didn't read it careful enough, just started writing the code and thinking at the same time, deleting a bunch of stuff, clicking run button for 10 or 20 times before it actually like runs because you didn't think deep enough about that, this is very counterproductive. You won't learn much. Yeah, it's easier mentally, but you are not learning at that time. So yeah. Okay, the second piece of advice would be don't spend more than 2 hours on the problem. What I mean by that is don't spend more than 2 hours to come up with solution. You spend like 20-30 minutes, you don't have any ideas, even brute force ones. You open the hint 1, hint 2 if they exist. Hints didn't help you. You spent another 20 minutes to try to think about the problem with the hints in mind. In this case, there are high chances that the solution and intuition that is used in this problem you just don't know about. This is some LeetCode pattern that you have never seen before, and even like with high chances, I can tell you that if you go to solution, 90% of the time you would just see the solution and you would realize there is no way you can come up with this. So this is okay. Just learn it. Just like learn it like a knowledge. Like you're not supposed to be clever about that. Just learn it as a knowledge. Solve a bunch of more LeetCode problems for this pattern. Note this pattern and then memorize it. And you will have it just as a snippet in your mind, and that's okay. At least this is how I did it. Now, the third piece of advice, initially when you start, you don't know any LeetCode pattern, and most of them, they're pretty complicated to come up with on your own, and that's okay. So how do you approach them? The time you face the problem that has pattern you don't know about, and you were not able to solve this problem, or you were not able to solve it optimally, in that case, for that day, you are done. You stick with this pattern for the rest of your day. So you're not allowed to solve any problems that are about any other pattern because this is counterproductive. You can grasp only single pattern a day. Otherwise, the results are pretty bad and you will forget everything, and that's bad. So how you should approach it? Let's say you're solving sliding window and then you got next section in the list about DP. And DP is pretty hard problem. So first problem you were not able to solve is DP. You go to solution, you learn DP. You go and learn some fundamentals about DP. And for that day, and maybe actually a couple of the next days, you're doing only DP problems, and that's it. You keep doing them, you're learning again and again most of the techniques, like different perspectives on the DP. Okay, with the DP I can do that. Okay, there is one DP, two DP, bottom up, top down, caching. All this stuff, you should learn all of them. You should be fluent in that. You also keep your notes. So I have my own LeetCode doc with all the code snippets, patterns there, so I can recall myself all the knowledge before the interview in 30-60 minutes. And you put all the knowledge there. And whenever you got a dynamic programming problem, I don't know, next few weeks, if you cannot recall it, you go and you again memorize the knowledge that you put in your doc. And this is how you learn. Fourth advice, I wouldn't recommend you to buy a premium. It doesn't really improve anything, except the two features that I find interesting are the problems that are asked in the specific companies, but you can solve it by just using LEETCODE.com. Some of the problems are actually unlocked there for free. And also one thing, you can ask anyone with the premium to just give you a screenshot and you will have 80 or 90% of the problems that you can solve on your own without any problems. The thing is here that I've been doing that and there was 0 times I actually encountered the problem in the specific companies that I solved on a LeetCode for these specific companies. So I don't think, does it work good or no, but in general it's not something important. So you can generally prepare with no premium. I have never bought any premium for the LeetCode and I still landed 3 offers in big tech. So that's okay, don't worry about that. The next one is do only lists. I already mentioned that a couple of times since I've been doing the LeetCode daily challenge for the last year, I would say. And I had streak like 340 something of solved daily LeetCode challenge. Like 70 or 80% of the daily LeetCode challenge problems, they are very bad. They don't have specific pattern. They're extremely hard for the people who enjoy like contests and competitive programming more than they actually enjoy working and landing the interview. So most of them are bad. If you want to still solve it and to realize which one is good and which one is bad, welcome to my Telegram channel. I'm discussing and posting solutions for every daily LeetCode problem consistently, so you can just check it and decide on your own whether it makes sense for you to invest your time or not. But in general, random problems, daily LeetCode challenge problems, they are bad. Don't go with them. You have 3 lists that I mentioned. Just go and solve them. These 3 lists on its own, they will give you like 200 to 300 problems solved. This is quite enough to start doing interviews. Now, the most interesting part for me 2 years ago would be, okay, I thought that by solving 700 problems, I will be so confident that I can solve any hard problem, any medium problem, and I'm so confident in myself, and yeah, there is no obstacles for me. This is not true. So for average daily LeetCode problem, I would say the following. Easy one, like 99% I will solve it. For the mid one, for the daily LeetCode challenge, they are pretty bad ones sometimes. I would be 50 to 60% confident that I can solve it without help, hints, and solutions. For the hard one, I usually have confidence like 20 to 30% I can solve it on my own. With regards to the least problems, which are good problems, I would say easy is 100% solvable. For the medium one, 70 to 90%, I'm confident I can solve medium one from the list. And for the hard one, I think 50 to 60, I will be able to solve them. This is actually a big problem for the LeetCode and even more push for the lists, because before that LeetCode has likes to dislikes ratio, which they removed exactly like YouTube did. And this ratio was the only thing that could tell you the problem is good or no. Now there is nothing else that can tell you except the lists, so do lists. As you can see, and as you would see if you follow me in my social media and see how I'm doing daily, yeah, I'm still not confident. I still have the issues with coming up with some solution or having intuition. There are still some extremely complicated patterns like segment tree, Fenwick tree, binary lifting, KMP, algo, and all this stuff. These are kind of advanced LeetCode patterns that you generally don't want to even learn because they are probably not asked during the real interview, but they are asked during the daily LeetCode challenge, of course. So I don't think you should learn this. Learn only the patterns that you face on the lists. That's it. You don't need anything else. I was discussing that during my previous articles and videos about landing offers, but my idea that, and is backed up by some of the neuroscience books, that generally your intelligence, you have two types of intelligence essentially. It's fluid intelligence and crystallized intelligence. So fluid one is the one that that is given you by nature, by God, by whoever else. And this is your natural gens defined intelligence. This is exactly the thing that helps you to solve the problems that you have never seen before. And there is crystallized knowledge or intelligence. This is the one that gained by knowledge. And all of this video, all of that we are talking about, this is about crystallized knowledge. I'm pretty bad. I'm not that intelligent person. I wasn't able initially to solve any LeetCode problems. And I'm able to do that now only because of the discipline and because I solved so many of them and I memorized so many of them and I know these patterns just blindly that, yeah, like I can cover majority. But I still have this ceiling that I cannot jump above. So for example, hedge funds are unsolvable for me because they are giving you extremely complicated hard problems for the like top competitors in the competitive programming. So like this is not thing for me. I will never be able to do that. For that I would need to have a specific brain type. But average engineer, I can tell you for sure, is able to get and to land up to senior role to any big tech companies if you get lucky enough with the interviewers, because there is always luck there, just by doing these lists and just by doing a good LeetCode problems. It's just crystallized knowledge. You don't have to be very clever about this and you don't have to be a really intelligent person. You can just learn to do that. So that was it from me. Please subscribe to my social media. I keep posting like funny stuff, interesting things about working in FANG, big tech companies, Snowflake, talking about big corpo AI, all this stuff. Also, I'm doing the daily LeetCode challenges there, so it will be much more convenient for you to understand which problem to solve and which one not to solve. We're discussing different patterns and stuff like that. Besides that, please share your tips, suggestions, advices as LeetCoders. I would be happy to see them and maybe I will learn something else as well. For now, that's it. Thank you so much and see you.